Oh, let's get ready to rumble!
Taking over Nick's beat. Ha 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 ha.
All right, want to start the show?
Hey, I'm Marcus.
I'm Atrax.
And I'm Nick.
We are Working Class Nerds.
Cue the intro. That's right, we are Working Class Nerds, the podcast that gives you no information about your favorite information.
Today is Thursday, September 29th, 2022, and you can find this Giggity 169 podcast on Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and anywhere you can find a podcast in the galaxy far, far away.
You can also find every single Working Class Nerds episode on YouTube, and also now Working Class Nerds is branching out to yet another new platform, Rumble.com. From now on, you can find all of the top tier video content that Marcus tells Greenbot to put on there on Rumble.com. Marcus B814.
And you can watch me play video games Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays at twitch.tv/MarcusB814.
You can watch me play video games every single Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. At twitch.tv/NickVern51. I almost forgot my handle.
And you can watch me continue the Monday Night Vibes at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/A_Atrax.
And you can find us on most of the social medias. I am Marcus B814.
I am at Atrax_A on Twitter.
And I'm at Nick Vern, that's NICKVR. In this week's episode, we're talking about all kinds of different things in gaming news. It's a gaming news update. It's gaming news bonanza. So we were going to have a guest this week, but unfortunately they experienced a rather intense migraine that was obviously unforeseen. So it's just the three of us, but that's quite all right because it's the three of us. You've got all nerds all the time.
We're going to have a three-way.
Three of us. For 169. Whoa.
Well, yep. We're starting off strong. Speaking of starting off strong, who wants to go first this week? Usually it's like, oh, guest, welcome to the show. What have you been up to? But we don't have any guests.
I went first last week. So
we're an equal opportunity podcast.
I'll just go first. So believe it or not, last Tuesday or this Tuesday was an incredible clan night. I think we had like 15 different people jump in and out of clan night to play a match of PvP or a match of Gambit or cycle throughout the night. There was a ton of people. There was a couple groups. It was so much fun. I swear, like the community clan night aspect where like, yes, if you're in AIE, you will take precedent to play with clanmates, but if you don't play with, even if you're not in the AIE clan, it's okay. You can still come jam with us on Tuesday nights. And I feel like it's finding its groove. And I know we've been doing it for a while, but what I mean by that is like, people are just starting to show up and expect like just to hang out. And it's a super chill night. There's no requirements. We're just going to do fun content. I'm not going to try very hard at anything. And it's an opportunity to not stare at your phone for a night and just play. So that part is really fun. Something that is awesome about Bungie, and they have their downsides to things, but the other thing is their seasonal content is amazing. Like this year's story is all about like a pirate theme, and you're snagging these relics. And at first I was like, meh, I'm not really a pirate guy. You know what I'm saying?
Arrgh.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking the same thing. I was trying to figure out how to sneak it in there.
Well, shiver me timbers.
Right. So I'm not really a pirate, right? Like that's not my forte. Like
a man of the sea I may be, but a life of a pirate is not for ye.
Yes. And
why is the rum always gone?
Okay, can I just like pat myself on the back? That was a pretty good on the spot rhyme right there.
That was
Yes.
a great pirate impression too.
Okay.
But one of the seasonal guns, the sidearm that you got, you
Yep.
get at the end, it like flares out almost like the old style musket guns.
Oh, what do they call that? A blunderbuss?
I don't know, but
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
It's like
I don't know anything about a blunderbuss. All I know about is the bang bus. But anyways, moving on.
That's a different kind
like
of
that's-
projectile. Okay.
Yeah. So what I was saying is this sidearm is awesome. The aesthetics of it, like shooting this sidearm makes me feel like I am a pirate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
I believe it or not, I haven't really used any of the other guns because I did try the linear fusion rifle, but whatever. It wasn't the Storm Chaser. So my
Yeah.
point is the weapons have been cool. The seasonal stuff is cool. The story, what I do like about the story is every week you're getting another. I'm doing like, let's call it like a chapter, right? So every
Okay.
week you're reading a new chapter of a book and it gets better and better as every week goes on. And it's like guaranteed content because you get to do a few of the seasonal activities, but then at the end you get those pieces of the story and it's like to be continued. It's like you're reading a comic book every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And like,
That's cool.
I will say, like when I was a kid, I've tried to do this as an adult, but it doesn't work. Like I love comic books. And when the High Republic comic books came out, I tried to subscribe to it. And I'm like, okay, they're coming out the first Tuesday of every month, no matter what. And I was like, I can get to the comic book store once a month. I totally fucking failed. I think I went 2 or 3 months and then I skipped a month and then I went back and I got a couple more. And I was just like, this is too hard. Like I don't have the extra time to run to the comic book shop to pick up the comics. You know what
That's
I mean?
what I was gonna say. Yeah, you don't have that extra time to go. It's like another thing on the list that gets
Right. And you know,
Yeah.
I would hope that Nick would be able to maybe go, but you know, he's
Well,
really busy.
I can't pick up your stuff for you. First,
Yes,
of
you
all.
can. You
But
just tell him your name. It's not like we're got to sign for it. But
Oh.
Nick is too busy staring at his phone and playing on TikTok. So
I'm
it's
promoting
true.
the podcast. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
Podcast
kidding.
promotion.
Podcast. I have to
was
call him
gonna-
out.
To
I
all
was gonna
27 of my Snapchat followers.
Oh, awesome.
Those are an important 27 people though.
But it's actually
That's good.
26 because you're talking to one of them.
Right.
True.
So anyway, the story is getting good. I'm really excited. Believe it or not, what's really cool right now that's happening is a lot of my SWOTOR friends are starting to play Destiny. And they're not just like dabbling, they're like diving in. So Baron, Wes, however you guys know him, he raided with me in SWOTOR for years and he plays, you know, we kind of fell apart on the whole SWOTOR rating. And I've been asking him to come play Destiny and he never had, but he's popped into the stream and he's like, all right, you're having a lot of fun. And I'm like, dude, it's fucking awesome. So he starts playing it. He's played it for 2 weeks. A, he already knows more about the game than me. B, he's already murdering everything in its path. And I'm just like, I'm just lollygagging around. And he's like, do you use this and this and this? And I'm like, dude, I don't even know what that is. So clearly I like the game, but my level of casual play is so casual that I don't care about anything. You know what I mean? I just want to have fun. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
Whoa, can I just give a quick sidebar shout out? I got a Steam pop up that Doritos is playing the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, so that's pretty sweet.
Let's go, Doritos.
You know,
That's a great game.
I
It is.
really want to. So right now it's really hard because I really want to help Doritos make affiliate.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the same time, like it's hard because when you're playing a single player RPG, it's hard to, if you've already played it or you know what I mean? If you've already played it and beat it, I don't know how hard it is to like watch it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, agreed. Is he? Yeah, I get you. I think I made affiliate because it's average of 3 viewers per stream, right?
Yeah. And 50
Honestly,
followers.
I think I had the 50 followers came from the nerds community directly, and then I honestly made affiliate like I think I had like 2.5, 2.7 average, viewers, like or somewhat organically, a couple people tuning in essentially. But then like Marcus would raid me with a bunch of people, then Chimeri raided me with like 100 people or something ridiculous. And then it was like,
Right.
boom, bam, here you go. Now your average is up to 3.7 or something.
Right. So that's one of my goals, is to help Doritos get there.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Such a definitely deserving gentleman.
yeah,
I
he's such
concur.
a good dude.
Absolutely.
So the last, one of the things. So a couple podcasts I've been listening to. So people have been playing this game. It's called American Truck Simulator.
I've heard of
Okay.
Truck Simulator. They made a specifically
Oh, yeah.
American one.
Yeah.
There's Euro Truck Simulator too. They've set.
Yeah,
they
but who
separated
can
out the
actually
continent.
understand kilometers? Like, come on. Like, this
You're
is
a
America,
dude.
right? Like, so,
Okay. The
I
rest
can't
of the world, I guess, right?
right, exactly. The rest of the world can have the kilometers. We'll stick to miles per hour and miles.
You know what? I think there's other countries that use miles though. Like I think no. I was gonna say maybe Australia, but I don't think they do.
Nope. They
No,
don't.
it's only us.
Is it
I
just
can't list any, but I feel I'm sure there's got to be one other, right?
But
just
all we have
some
to
other
do,
weird one?
right? All I'm going to say is when America's going to switch to kilometers?
Never.
Yes, no. Someday it will. That's because whoever's doing it is going to make billions of dollars, and then they're going to be like, "Oh, it's a great idea." But until that day,
Yeah,
won't
you got to
happen.
figure out how to make how that switch is gonna make money.
right? Exactly. If they can figure out how it's going to make money, then they're in. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Because
Then
it's
they'll-
the entire system, right? It's not just like miles and feet, but then there's
Oh yeah, it's the
also-
whole thing. Like
Yeah.
we would no longer be,
centimeters, meters,
centimeters.
kilometers,
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
that's why like
liters for gas instead of gallons.
right. Like I like talking in inches because it sounds girthy. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're like, I'm 4 centimeters, you're like, ew, baby. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah,
that is
but-
really.
So like,
Yeah,
I'm
4
4
centimeters
inches.
is like- It's like 1.7 inches or something.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can play just a tip. Anyways,
Mhm,
moving on.
mhm.
So I've been waiting. So holiday sales are coming. So if you've been thinking about buying a game, wait another like month, and you're gonna start getting like the Halloween sales and all the fall sales for all the games.
Steam
It's
fall
coming.
sale. Oh,
Yeah. So I think my big purchase is going to be American Truck Simulator, because I kind of want to like set it up and wear my hat and get.
Are
my
you going to get a
senior-
wheel and everything too?
All right, hold on. Is it just because your truck that you drive every day is you downsized it, so now you're missing the big truck energy?
No, it's because
You-
of this podcast I
you-
listened to.
You
and they
miss-
were
I
talking
miss-
about all
I
of
miss
it.
my big truck.
and-
I have to say, I watch people play American Truck Simulator while I'm playing other video games. It is kind of fun to watch.
Well, so hear me out. It's the modding community. They allow people to mod the game, and somebody has figured out how to mod it so you can have your own server and get 8 of your buddies, and you can do your own convoy. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yep.
What'd you say? Like us 3 just driving down the highway with
On the ham radio?
CD radio, and just
Yeah.
fucking being idiots. I gotta stop at the pit stop and get me a piece
A
of gas
Gatorade.
station sushi and a
Yeah.
Gatorade.
hell you doing out there? God damn it!
Yeah. Well, I'm at mile marker 643. Where are you guys at? 10-4?
Yeah.
We all gotta have ridiculous nicknames.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would be Chicken Coop because my truck would have all the lights on it.
Why did chicken? Why?
I never told you this story. Okay.
I don't think so.
So I just graduated from high school. I was done. I was working for this window company. Okay. And my
Okay.
mom had a diner back then. And
Okay.
I was at the diner, and there was always like truckers that stop by the diner, right?
Yeah, it's a classic trucker move.
Exactly. So this guy, he lived in Akron, Ohio, and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to Detroit. Marcus, do you want to go?" I'd never been to Detroit. I was like, "Sure, I'll go to Detroit."
How
And
the
he's
fuck
like,
you got to get back from Detroit.
Well, he was coming back this way. He was picking up a load from Pepsi and coming back.
Okay.
And I was like, "Sweet." So I asked my mom, and she's like, "Go ahead." And I was like, and I started to think, am I going to get like gang raped in this truck? You know what I mean? And
That's the first
and my
thing I
mom's
thought
like,
of.
"This guy's really nice. He comes in all the time. You're fine. Just go experience life." And I was like, "All right, sweet. Perfect."
Yeah.
So then I went to my boss and I was like, "Hey, I'm leaving." And he's like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "I'm going to go to Detroit." And he's like, "If you go, you're fired." I'm like, "All right." And he's like, "You're really just going to walk away from your job?" I was like, "Look it, buddy." I said, "I'm 18 years old. I'm not going to work here forever. I want to experience life.
Yeah.
I'm going to go take a ride. When I get back, I'll come over here and see if I still have a job. If I do, great. If I don't, I'll shake your hand and say thank you so much. But I am not turning down this experience in my life."
That's fair.
So,
Right.
so then,
Especially at 18. Like, it's an
yeah.
entry level job anyways. So, like,
right,
you know,
exactly.
like you're going to come
Yeah.
back and any company's going to hire you into an entry level, window installation job. That's I
Right,
get what you're saying.
exactly.
It's
Yeah,
not like
so-
you've been there for 20 years and you're going to lose your pension and shit or whatever,
Right, exactly. I was
I'm
young
with ya.
and dumb. Anyway, so I go.
And I won't finish.
We
the
stopped
rest of
at
that
this
phrase.
truck stop, and in my head, I was like, I can't fall asleep. Like, I want to experience this.
For
So
all
this was
30 whatever hours.
no, it's like a 15-hour drive or something. I don't fucking know, dude.
Okay.
But my point is, so I was there, and then I saw. This is before 5-Hour Energy and all this stuff, right?
Yeah, this is before energy drinks in general.
Right, yeah.
Maybe Red Bull. When did they start?
I can't remember, but I bought these 2 pills, and they were like straight up speed.
Caffeine with. Yeah.
But they sell the 2-pack, and then they sell the bottle of 30.
Yeah.
And I was like, buying the bottle of 30, I'm not going to sleep for days. This could be great.
Yeah. It's the the gas station. It's like mega awake with like lightning bolts or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh my god! What was
So-
that video? Power thirst.
Oh yeah.
Power thirst.
Energy
So-
legs.
So
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
ate 5 of them.
Oh my god. Okay.
So I got
At once.
Yeah,
All right.
about, I don't know, an hour out of Detroit, my stomach started to get destroyed.
Of course.
Oh,
Yep.
Right.
So
So
jacked up in the front seat.
yeah, so we get to Detroit, and my stomach is just, it's like, and I'm like sweating. I was like dead. I ended up puking the entire time they were unloading this truck because of all the speed or whatever it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
gas station
Right.
speed can't be good.
yeah. No.
You know what I
No.
mean?
Especially
But-
if it's like, I think it would honestly would have been better if you actually took meth, like regular or real speed. Well, okay, well maybe not. Okay,
But anyway, my point is, it was a cool experience. I got to see something awesome. I was an idiot 18-year-old kid, but it was just one of those cool experiences.
yeah,
And I have no idea how we got there. Oh, American Truck Simulator. So
Yes.
I've seen some of these like streams where like they like paint the room to look like the sides of the truck, and they get by like get the big TV, and that's what they see. Kind of like how people go crazy with like the Microsoft Flight Simulator.
yes,
Right.
Same thing for this. And they've got like CB radios, and they have the whole dash look like rig and all this stuff. It's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
I think that's going to be my holiday 2022 purchase, and I'll probably buy you 2 idiots one, and we'll all probably do like that new cross stream through Streamlabs.
yes,
Oh yeah.
the co-stream.
Did you-
Fuck, what's it called? Co-op stream? No.
Yeah, no, like I'll be
Oh,
able to put you guys in Streamlabs directly, like make your own scene, and
Yeah.
it'll link your Streamlabs to my Streamlabs.
That's
Right.
perfect.
Like it's
That'd be
it's
great.
doing a squad stream without Twitch.
Right.
And I
That's
think
cool.
this is the first thing that Streamlabs hasn't stolen from regular OBS, so I commend them for it.
Aren't they the same company though?
No, they're not. So
They're not.
So OBS, so I know this because I know some people that work for Streamlabs. They said that. So OBS is open broadcast software. It's open to anybody. So then Streamlabs said, okay, we'll just copy all your shit. We'll create a business and we'll make our own stuff. And that's
Okay.
what they did. But they can't, but OBS can't do anything because OBS is open format.
Right.
Mhm.
It's free. It's like do whatever you want to it. So they pretty much found a loophole and they just copy
Gotcha.
everything. But this is the first time they've done something that OBS doesn't have.
Right.
Right.
Anyways,
the old poop hole loophole.
the poop. Yeah. Anyways, the last thing I wanted to say is I'm really, really, really sick and tired of the green text message. So I have some friends who have Android phones, and like us human beings have an Apple phone that is blue and it says delivered. And like, it's
if you
just
want, it can say red. You know,
right. Yeah. And it's sophisticated. Right. And then you have the freaks who have an Android phone and it ruins our goddamn group messages with this green text. And they look like fucking weirdos. So Android is gotta go. Buy an iPhone. Moving on. So A-Trax, who have you been playing with?
Well,
Oh,
my
this
weird
feels like
Android self. Thank you,
Sorry.
Marcus.
This feels like it's like a hazing initiation or something.
No, it is. It's the first time that you two are against me now on something. Normally it's you and I against Marcus.
That's true.
Well, just
Fair.
for the record,
But,
pre-show, everything was my fault. The Google Doc wasn't right. Oh, it's Marcus's fault. Everything that happened,
was your fault.
No, everything that happened in this fucking pre-show podcast was all my fault. And it wasn't even my fault.
Yeah.
It was only 87% your fault.
Just the majority.
I'm going to say 66%.
How about 69%? Because it's 169 episode.
Anyways, A-Trax, who have you been playing with?
So yeah, last night I joined Stone Dog Entertainment for his first ever karaoke stream. It was a lot of fun. Basically the format was we did marbles, and the winner of the marble match got to pick who did their karaoke song. Each of us participating had 3 songs that we did or could choose from. So I performed all 3. Mine were Lose Yourself by Eminem, Paid My Dues by NF, and then Remember the Name by Ed Sheeran with Eminem and 50 Cent. So
Wow.
it was a lot of fun. It was, I think, 4 hours was the whole stream. So it was a good long while. It was a ton of fun. Shout out to Stone Dog Entertainment for hosting that. And hopefully he'll do it again in the future.
Nick, what is
'Cause it
your
was a lot of fun.
favorite karaoke song?
Probably This Love by Maroon 5.
All
Oh,
right.
that's a good one.
Because it's
What
like
about
in
you,
my,
Marcus?
in my range. Well, I mean, can I give a
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore? Also, Mr. Brightside by the Killers.
Okay.
I've actually have a playlist in my Spotify of karaoke songs that I feel comfortable with.
Oh, there you go.
It's a lot of things.
You sing a lot of karaoke then.
So in the car.
I feel like
I've done it
You've
in real
sent
life
me-
once because I don't want to go by myself, you know?
yeah. I feel
Oh.
like you've sent me a video of you singing karaoke once.
I definitely did. That was me singing This Love by Maroon 5.
That's
in a
right,
bar.
yeah.
That's where I saw Marcus's wife's friend at the bar, actually. At
Oh,
that same
okay.
bar.
Yeah.
That's just a tidbit for Marcus.
Right.
Meanwhile, Marcus, what's your favorite karaoke song?
Wu-Tang Clan chess boxing.
Yep, you told me that.
All right. That's a good one.
Very nice.
Yeah,
And if I
yeah.
and my backup to that is "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey.
Don't stop.
Oh, that's
man,
good.
that's gotta be. I can hit none of those notes.
I don't, but that's the best. Like that's the point of karaoke. You're not meant to be good. You're just meant to
No.
be an idiot.
The
Well, I'm
better
not-
you are
I'm
at
not
singing,
good.
the worse you are at karaoke.
But the
That's
best
fair.
But the best part about karaoke is if you go to like a karaoke bar, right?
Yeah.
You
Like the one I
have
went to.
all right. So and that's the one I'm talking about. So like you go there and like 50% of the crowd is just drinking, having a great time, singing songs, just being an idiot and
Yeah.
having a great time doing it. The other 50% is like the people who want to be singers, and they're getting up there and pouring their heart and soul into each song. And you're listening to it a little half in the bag and you're going, damn, if this was 1979, this guy would have made it.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's funny. I think I made the comment at some point last night. I was like, this is just like I'm sitting in an Applebee's. Like we're just vibing out. You can hear the karaoke going on. Everybody's
Well,
having a good time.
That's cool.
It
I-
was great.
See, I'd like to think I'm in the first category of like, yeah, I'm drinking, I'm having a good time, but like, I don't like to sing a karaoke song unless I can like kind of do it, you know?
Yep, same here.
So like,
And if I
and
mess
I'm
up, I
not,
get super self-conscious too.
oh, me too. And I'm not like, I am not a good singer, like at all.
Right.
I have like
me
a
neither.
very narrow range. I'm not hitting any crazy high notes or anything.
He never hits the end and he never hits the walls. Yep,
Walls.
I got it.
No. I don't ever hit the end, but the walls get beat up. But back at the ranch, the yeah, I definitely want to like try so that it's at least serviceable. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. You don't want to be that guy.
You don't want to be that guy that's completely not even close. But
Right.
it's like it's like, oh, this guy tried a little like karaoke, but clearly can't sing. But I don't get what you're saying, Marcus. Like the people who like clearly like have taken singing lessons and like have sung like in choirs or something and like really sang the shit out of a song, like a Whitney Houston song or something. It's like, all right, relax. You know, like
Yeah.
save some room
Yep.
for the rest of us normies over here.
Uh-huh. Yeah, absolutely. Or like the person who can really sing in your group goes first, and then everybody else after is just like, oh, all right, well, I don't know how to follow that.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
exactly.
man.
Yeah.
So what else
so-
been going on?
So that was a lot of fun. That was last night. In addition, we talked about it last week, but I've been getting more into it this week. We're moving the A-Track stream server, good old ASS. It is moving into the Working Class Nerds Discord. I made the official announcement yesterday. And it snuck up on me like how, I guess, like sentimental I got thinking about getting rid of the server, because for the last few months I've just been like, well, I've only used it really for announcements. And when people talk in it, I try to reply and be there, but I just haven't been very active. So I thought, oh, well, just, the Discord will come to an end. But then when I thought about it, I remember there was a time when it was the go-to server in my area for the people that I knew for like Among Us and Goose Goose Duck lobbies. We used to hang out and watch all sorts of random crazy stuff and stay up super, super late till like 5 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, it was kind of writing up the announcement. I was getting a little sad. I was like, man, it's the end of an era. It's kind of saying goodbye to, I don't know, just a small little section of my streaming career, But
Yeah.
I'm excited to be moving on too.
Well, of course, I'm sorry to interject, but like,
No, of course.
dude, you've had a lot of fun times in some of those voice channels. There's been some funny memes over the years posted in those channels. Like,
Yep.
that shit's hard to forget about or let go and like click delete. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, so the official day when I get back from, I'm saving it for when I get back from the beach on Monday. Then it'll be officially gone on Monday. It'll be that'll be the official delete button. We'll delete the server and then we'll go live on Twitch. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, is there, I would imagine there is at least some solace that like it's not as though the server's completely gone. Like at least you still have a presence in the Working Class Nerds Discord,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it really is about, kind of evolving and changing as a content creator, which kind of brings me into my next point. A huge thank you to everybody from both communities, the Working Class Nerds community and also the small community that I've started to bring in. All the people that have sent me messages, saying like, hey, we're excited for you to be on the show, or we're super excited for you to be moving into the Discord or for the next chapter, all that sort of stuff. Thank you to everybody. The response from the community has been nothing but fantastic. And not that I was like worried, oh man, people are they're not going to like it, but it's just kind of really great reinforcement that so many of you are so welcoming.
Hell yeah. That's what it's all about. But it also makes me happy to hear that, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to speak a little selfishly when I say this. I'm actually excited that somebody else is going to be in the Discord because somebody else can help pay attention to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
I try.
Some-
I do not pay attention to the Discord. I try, but I do not at all.
no, not
I
even
tried to
you,
as
Nick,
well.
but like sometimes like I'm super busy and I miss stuff for hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me too.
Like is for me, the biggest thing for me is when anybody new joins, I always welcome them. That's the only thing that is like a must. The other thing that drives me crazy is the one thing I don't like about Discord right now is they have these like waving like robot
Oh my
things
God.
and like
Yeah.
that drives me crazy because it gets like those things. I wish I could disable those things.
You might be able to.
Anyways,
I
moving
don't
on.
know. Yeah. So, in addition to moving into the Discord and all of this, after this weekend, when I
Holla.
get everything set up, I announced this in my Discord. There will be a multiverses tournament happening Saturday, November 5th. So, first Saturday in November, we're going to have a multiverses tournament. I'll talk a little bit more about it later. But just a couple of quick highlights. I'll be hosting it, so I won't actually be playing in the tournament. I want to do 1 versus 1 and 2 versus 2, but I'm not sure if we'll have enough time and how many people will sign up and whatnot. So we'll kind of figure that out as things get set up. But you'll be able to sign up in the Discord very, very soon. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about multiverses later, but that's pretty much all the news that I've got going on. Nick, what have you been up to this week? I know you've got a lot.
I do have a lot. So I'll start with stream stuff and then I'll progress to non-stream stuff.
All right.
So this past weekend was insane. Like once in a lifetime opportunity. So first things first, I streamed this week. I'm going out of order for my bullets, but stream this week was wicked fun. I don't know what made it different. I feel like I had about the same number of folks in there, kind of the same people, but chat was like going crazy and people were talking smack and having fun. And I just particularly had a blast. So thank you to everyone for coming by stream. I think it was helped by like the story progressing. I was doing the actual main quest and like moving it along, and some crazy stuff was happening in it. Spoilers for The Witcher 3, but like we finally get to the point where like, all right, we know what the hell happened to Ciri. So speaking of which, I'm almost at the end of The Witcher 3. So I won the high stakes Gwent tournament as a quick sidebar, and I banged one of the other contestants. So kudos to Geralt, because that's always fulfilling. You know what I mean?
Wasn't Triss though.
Get it?
Yeah.
Fulfilling.
Ha ha
'Cause-
ha.
Because intercourse. Anyways.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Explain it to him, Nick.
No. I don't need you to explain it. But it's not Triss, so I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Anyways. Actually, I had a double. Oh no, the Gwent tournament. Relations was not on stream, but the Yennefer relations were, which I believe both of you missed. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
we
glad.
boycotted it that day because
Yeah, we
it
did.
wasn't Triss.
We knew what was happening. We're like, get this guy out of here.
I get it.
My question is this, Nick.
Okay.
What happens when you beat The Witcher?
I'll have to reevaluate my life. No,
doesn't
yeah,
know
you beat it,
anything.
and then there's 2 DLCs.
Oh,
That's
all right.
true. And the DLCs have a lot of stuff in.
Yeah, one of them I can kind of play the quests now. It's like it uses the same area of the map and just adds stuff that are like higher levels. That's the Heart something. I forget what it's called. Like Hearth something. I don't know. Homestead,
Yeah.
something with an H. I forget what it's called. But then the next DLC, the Blood and Wine DLC, adds Trisant, which I think is supposed to be like Spain or France. It's like sounds French, but like gives a Spain aesthetic. A lot of wines and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's probably France now that I'm thinking about it. But that's like supposedly like another 40 hours or something crazy, like a whole nother like enormous part of the game.
It's how I wish every game did DLC. Like
Yeah.
it is the prime example of how DLC should be done.
Right. That's what everybody says. I obviously haven't played it yet because
Right.
those quests are supposed to be like after you beat the main game and then you go to do this. But versus like the other smaller DLC is like sort of added in. You can go do the other quests at the same time. It just adds content to the base like maps and stuff. But
Right.
But yeah, in terms of game stuff, I got to the part where it's like, okay, we know where Ciri is. We're gonna have to go get her, but as soon as we go get her, we got to use magic, so the Wild Hunt is gonna come and attack at the same time. So like we got to get geared up for a big fight. It's like, why don't you go talk to everybody that you've talked to in the game that like you made friends with along the way and gather them up for this big fight. I'm like, oh, okay, clearly this is the
It reminds me of Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, exactly. Like that wasn't in Mass Effect 2, that's the whole overarching plot. It's like you got to gather your supplies to go fight.
Your team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like in this it's like, oh, like who do you think you can talk to, you can like recruit to come fight? Like based on what you did in the game, and it's like, ah, shit, who did you piss off? Who did you not piss off? So it's like,
Right.
So, but regardless, obviously that's a big fight. So I'm not completing that quest until I go do, I feel fulfilled elsewhere. Like I got to do all the other stuff.
He's got to do everybody else.
You got to
Yes.
get fulfilled elsewhere before you can finish the complete.
Innuendos. So, anyways, I also unlocked the twirl, which is if you max out your fast attack like ability tree, you can like unlock this ability. You kind of look like Anakin or Obi-Wan doing the lightsaber twirl, and you just like spin your sword around and fuck up a whole crowd of people.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty cool. I've been trying to do that because it's got a unique animation. But yeah,
I didn't know that.
The Witcher 3 is pretty sweet. It's like the third thing down on the combat tier that's like for fast attack. Yeah, but you have to put like, I think it's 20 points into like the combat section before that tier gets unlocked. So it's a lot. But I got it unlocked, which is exciting. Okay, so stream has been great. The Witcher's great. I'm super enjoying it. I'm just going through doing side quests now. And this past weekend, I had a once in a lifetime opportunity. So let me back up a little bit. This is definitely going to be long winded no matter how I cut it up. So get your snacks and beverages ready, I guess.
Get your popcorn.
Right. So we're from New England, obviously. We're from Massachusetts. Way back in roughly 2010-ish. My dad met a contact with this gentleman who had a large piece of property in the food business. My dad works for Big Y. It's a grocery store chain out here. And this contact liked to play paintball on that big plot of land. And my dad played paintball with me way back when. So they got to talking and said, hey, this guy, this guy was like, hey, I'm actually friends with this Patriots player, Vince Wilfork. Now, if you're not a football fan, Vince Wilfork is basically, for when he was with the Patriots, he was the Tom Brady of the defense. He's this giant, enormous defensive lineman that was an absolute force to be reckoned with. And I know all defensive linemen are kind of like that. But even among defensive linemen, Vince is a specimen. He is incredibly giant and athletic and always commanded a double team from the offense. And just an incredible player and also a really cool guy. So anyways, we ended up playing paintball with him at this guy's house and on his like backyard property. And also that day was Gerard Mayo, who's not so related to the story, which is a kind of a cool side piece. That's a linebacker for the Patriots for many, many years. So through that event of us playing paintball together at this guy's house, my dad was like, hey, Vince, we should get together and do some marketing for Big Y. Like, you can be in commercials. I'm sure we can get a product that we pair you with or something and, do some promotion. So they do. Vince ends up promoting the Super Bird, the biggest rotisserie chicken that Big Y had. It's the giant rotisserie chicken. It's like, it's big like me. Eat the Super Bird. So he did commercials there. That was awesome. Then later, my dad formulated the Invincible grinder. So it was a giant piece of Italian bread with 7 meats and cheeses and 5 toppings or vegetables, whatever, for like 75, Vince's number. And it was like an Italian cold cut grinder. It was enormous. Then later, it was the Invincible pizza it was the same ingredients minus the lettuce on a pizza. So it was like Italian meats and cheeses on a pizza. It was awesome. And a long story short, they had like a business relationship for a long time. Along the way, Vince has diabetes in his family, and it's a big cause he cares about. So he would have these fundraisers at a bowling alley that he would invite us to. It was fun. You could do some bowling. There's a silent auction for all kinds of different Patriots, like not merch. What's the word I'm looking for? Memorabilia, signed photos and jerseys and helmets and things. And it all goes to charity, and then you can kind of, the players come out too that are there, and you get to take photos and like hang out and do some bowling with the Patriots players. So my dad has this relationship with Vince Wilfork. Well, then after Vince retires and the business sort of stops, so my dad hadn't heard from a while. Then heard from him for a while. So then my dad gets an email from Vince's assistant and says, "Hey, Vince is getting inducted to the Patriots Hall of Fame. Do you want to go to the ceremony?" And my dad's like, "Fuck yes, I do." She's like, "Okay, great. How many tickets do you want?" He's like, "Well, 2." Okay. So, okay, so 2 tickets comes with a VIP pass to the reception before the ceremony. Okay. The reception after the ceremony. Okay. You get a discounted hotel stay and tickets to the game on Sunday. And we're like, what? Because the ceremony's on Saturday, then the Patriots game on Sunday. We're like, what? Okay, great. So we show up. We figured the ceremony, you should dress nice, and we did, because it was. So if you want reference to what I'm talking about for this ceremony, if you just Google Vince Wilfork Patriots Hall of Fame ceremony, it's on YouTube, the whole event. So we show up. They're like, "Hey, park your car in this VIP lot. Here's the pass, and you'll follow the tent where you sign in." I'm like, okay, so there's a couple different tents to sign in for like the public to like be around the area, and then we're like, no, actually you're over there in the gated off section. We're like, okay. So my dad and I walk over to the gated off section. There's a security guy with the the curly Q earpiece and everything. It's like Norman Nick Vernadakis. It's like, "Yep, you're right this way." And they move the thing. We move the I'm doing the like divide. What do they call those? The divider thing, the rope.
Yeah, the little ropes.
The clicky latch.
Yep.
So we go over, they're like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" And there's Vince's assistant. We some introductions, blah, blah, blah. And we get the silver wristbands. Actually, do I have it in here? I do. Hold on.
Nick's very excited. He wants to show us the silver wristband. We'll have to make a clip or something so everybody can see.
I get the silver wristband. So then we go to this.
It is silver for all of you listening. Can confirm.
Yeah, it's silver.
We are recording the video.
It's a silver wristband, everybody. Think about what you got when you went to Chuck E. Cheese to play games unlimited for an hour. That's what he got, and it's silver.
This one says Gillette Stadium on it, though. It's special. But so anyways, then we go into this building, and I don't think much of it because like not a lot of people are there outside. It's like an hour till the stadium, till the ceremony starts. It's like an hour and a half. And ceremony starts, and we go in, and inside there's like a buffet table with like chicken tenders and like fried mac and cheese bites and stuff like that, and then like a beer and wine bar type of thing. And in there it's Vince, his family, some Patriots alumni, like a couple of the guys I knew, but most of them were like sort of older, like from the 80s ish,
right?
Like and then that were just there for like the ceremony to support Vince and things.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got like Vince's kid's baseball coach, Vince's assistant, Vince's accountant, and us. It's like 25 people. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, you're like, of the 25 people, we got invited.
Yeah, we're like, I could not believe the like exclusivity. My dad and I are both like, so we kind of went into it with like, hey, this is a really cool opportunity. We're expecting nothing, right? Like we're not
right,
but like, and whatever cool stuff happens, like it'll just be a bonus. So
yeah,
we're expecting to get like the obstructed view behind a pole in the back of the ceremony, and then for the game
we get to go.
Exactly. I'm just pumped to be there, right?
Yeah.
And then we're in this VIP room with Vince, and we talk to him. We get a snap a photo or two, eat some chicken tenders or whatever, and then the Vince's assistant comes out. It's like, hey, like Patriots alumni, you go off to the side, and Vince's family and friends, you are gonna go take your seats now. So what I didn't realize was, as in the hour and a half or so that we were in there, the general public is like around the outside of the family and friends seats and Patriots alumni seats. So which are
okay.
white chairs. So they're crowding this whole area. There's 1,000 people there. And,
Right.
Patriots gear, taking photos, and I didn't realize they laid out a red carpet to lead up to the stage. So we come out the doors of this reception area, and it's a red carpet that leads to the stage, and then we walk by and go to our seats. But all these people don't know who the hell me and my dad are compared to the Patriots players that are in there still. So they're snapping photos. I hear them being like, oh, I wonder who that is. As we're walking down an actual red carpet, I'm like, are you
literal
kidding me?
red carpet treatment? That's amazing.
So we take our seats, and the lady's like, oh, you can sit here, and there were a couple people. She pointed to the third row or the sixth row. I'm like, whatever. The sixth row was totally open, and the third row had somebody's family in there. It was children. So we're like, all right, we'll go to the sixth row. And of 30 seats, chairs, and then there's hordes of people outside of the chairs. The chairs are kind of roped off. And if you look up this YouTube video, it's way easier to know what the hell I'm talking about. But we take our seats, and then the Patriots alumni get brought out in the ceremony, and there's really extremely touching speeches during the ceremony from Bob Kraft, and Vince's speech is a tearjerker. He had a really, really tough upbringing. Both his parents died in college, and he almost quit football. And then his defensive line coach told him to come back, and then he's played football with a heavy heart, not having his parents and not having a close family like that. So it was I'm totally brushing by it, but if you look up that YouTube video, just Vince Wilfork Hall of Fame ceremony, Marcus and I watched it with my dad at guys' night last night, and it was really touching. That was the second time I'd heard it, and it was really, really meaningful. I would recommend it, even if you're not a Patriots fan. But Bob Kraft's speech and Vince's, which I think is 10, 12 minutes in, something like that. But anywho, so we go through the whole ceremony, 6 rows from the stage. We're in that video on YouTube a bunch of times. You can see the back of our heads in the wide shot. You can see us they zoom in on one of the players, and we're standing up right behind them, clapping for him. It was crazy. Then afterwards, with our silver wristbands, we get access to another reception area that's a little bit larger afterwards. So again, this one is barbecue themed. So we've got some brisket in a carving station, some mac and cheese, cornbread, because Vince is a southern guy, so he's big into the barbecue.
Right.
And then that was some folks who are have VIP season tickets of some kind. I forgot what it's called. They were also in the reception area, and then there was a different chunk of folks that were the Patriots alumni, and then Vince's family and friends in there. So that was crazy.
Yeah.
So then my dad and I were like, you know what? We're not going to drink a lot tonight. And I don't condone this behavior, by the way, but we had some fun. Wait. Yes.
But you should. You're not driving. You're in a hotel.
Right.
You should enjoy yourself.
That's true. So at the after ceremony reception, we had 2 Coronas, I think, in the first part. Then the ceremony is an hour and a half. Then we go to the after ceremony reception, and that bar was a real bar, not just beer and wine. We're like, ooh, they have a scotch that we really like, Macallan 12. Let's have one of those. So I got a scotch and a water, and then we eat dinner and we're chatting, and we got another scotch and a water, and then another scotch and a water, and then we're like, all right, well, this is wrapping up. Let's check into the hotel, and then we'll go to one of the bars. After that, they made an announcement that they said hey, this bar is going to have live music for till 10 o'clock or something. So we go there. We have a double tequila soda because we don't want to pay for scotch because that's expensive. But especially out somewhere at home, the bottle's reasonable. But and then we go back to the hotel room. We're preparing for tomorrow. All right, we're going to wear this, and we're going to go meet up with our friends at a tailgate after, here, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then we have my dad and I both like tequila. So I brought a bottle of tequila and a bunch of seltzers and lime juice. And we're watching the Tom Brady documentary, Man in the Arena. So there's an episode, I think it's episode 6, that Vince Wilfork is also in as a main focus. It's talking about the 2011 Super Bowl. And so we're watching that, we're chatting, we're having bonding time, we're drinking and not paying attention. All of a sudden, the next morning, I realized we finished the bottle of tequila.
Of course.
So we went into things being yeah, we're not going to drink a lot. I don't want to be hungover at the game. It'll be fine. But yeah, we had some liquid IVs that night, and then a couple again in the morning. We were good to go. But it was just funny the amount of alcohol we ended up drinking.
Had to
Going into it
rehydrate after.
yeah, going into it being like, yeah, no, it's just gonna be low key. And it was like an incredible event, the whole thing. So we were just like totally starstruck and like thankful and grateful to have that opportunity. So it was great. Then the next day we're like, okay, we're gonna go have breakfast at the hotel, and there's a sweet buffet there, buffet style breakfast. We go. I actually stashed the car at our favorite parking spot that's outside of the like the stadium parking, because that can be an absolute nightmare to get out of.
It's awful. It could
like-
possibly be the world's worst experience ever.
Yeah, like my dad, he went to a Patriots game last season for like a corporate event with like people from work, and it legitimately took them 2.5 hours just to get out of the parking lot and onto the main road. Not even like no progress, just out of the parking lot. So we have a secret spot that lets you park at this business establishment. Then it's like half of it's like it has one entrance to the main road that's an absolute gridlock, and then it has a side street, and that side street leads to like another main road, and then you get on the highway super fast. So you park there, and it's more expensive, but like you walk a mile, park there, you zip out the side street, and then boom, you're home, and there's zero waiting in traffic.
That's the way to go.
Better. So the only snafu is it's an hour. It's a mile walk. So I went we had breakfast. I went, stashed the car, walked back, and then met up with my dad. And then we found some of his business associates who are having a whole extravagant tailgate also with like free beers. And they had Bears Barbecue, which if you're from the Northeast, it's a really good barbecue place in Connecticut. So it was more barbecue, crazy food. And they're like, all right, pinching ourselves. Then we go in. Oh, I forgot to tell you, at the reception, the pre-ceremony reception the day before, Vince's assistant gives us the details. She says, hey, yeah, so our tickets for tomorrow, you're going to be in the Putnam Lounge in the back of the end zone, which has like its own like private like bar and like food area and like tables with comfy seats for you to sit at, and you get a different wristband again. This is the green one now.
Oh, we moved on to the green one.
Green.
So I'm still wearing the silver, then I've got the green wristband on.
Clearly, Gillette Stadium uses Android.
Right, because they're rocking the green wristband. You got to go buy the exclusive staircase and elevator for the Optum Lounge. But you stand in the back of the end zone, and then she goes, so we're going to be sitting there during the game, and then at halftime, we're all going to get together, and we're going to go on the field for Vince's ceremony at halftime. And I'm like, what? Because we're going in expecting nothing, right? We're expecting to sit in the nosebleeds, like no expectations. So we're like, okay, great. Like, fantastic. Now, at that point, my dad and I are thinking, we're going to be on the sidelines. The ceremony is going to be over there. We'll be on the field, but I just get to touch the turf, and I'm happy with it, right? So, okay, so we're at the game, and I will say that that lounge actually sucks. So you're standing the whole time, unless you want to be inside and just watching on screens, and you're in the back of the end zone, but you're at the same level as the players on the turf. You're at turf level. And so, like, and you're in the back of an end zone. So you can't see shit because, like, all the people are giant. All the players are, if they're at the far end of the field, forget it. You can't see anything. They're going away from you.
Does everybody out here listen to this? He's in one of the best premier spots in the stadium.
Yeah, but I'm making fun of the premier spot.
But you're on the field in this little box thing.
Yeah.
You have food and drink, all you can eat.
No. You have to pay for the food and drinks.
Okay, so you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
All expenses paid, and there's comfy seats if you want to watch it on a screen. Yeah. I don't feel bad.
No, you definitely should not feel bad. I'm making a side note for anybody looking on being like, ooh, maybe I want to buy tickets to sit there. It's way better to sit in like the 200 section where you can actually see. Because like it's one thing if you sit in an end zone and you're elevated, because then you get that sense of depth and you can still see, right? But like if you're at the ground level in an end zone, even if they're coming at us, like a play happened and like they were behind the lineman and I just like I had no idea what happened. So you're watching the whole game on the Jumbotron anyways, is my point. So that was the only negative, was like and that is such a tiny negative in this sea of overwhelmingly positive experience. But I'm complaining about the free tickets that we got being, suboptimal for watching the football game. But so halftime comes, right? CJ, that's the name of Vince's assistant, rounds us up. She's like, "Hey, we got to meet by the stairs over here with a few minutes left in the first half." Okay, we go in like the back tunnels across the over to the tunnel exit where the players come out, and then like we're queued up and they have the stage like that's gonna roll onto the field next to us. And I'm still thinking we're gonna be on the sideline, but then I realized like all the Patriots alumni that were with us yesterday are also there too. So they roll the stage out and we're going not on the sideline, we're going in the middle of the field, like right next to the stage. Like imagine the Super Bowl halftime show when they sometimes have fans, like they let them on. Like that was us. We were right against the stage in the middle of the 70,000 people screaming for Vince when he's like Bob Kraft's making another speech and Vince is making another acceptance speech and just hyping the crowd up. It was nuts. And by the way, to get on the field, you need an orange wristband.
Oh, the orange wristband.
3 wristbands already.
So my Infinity wristband was almost complete at this point. Instead of Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, so
I think they got it, Nick.
Oh, that's what it's from.
Oh, yeah. The Infinity. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways. So we go on the field. That was incredible, to say the least. We're right there. I got some. I can't even say it properly. I took some turf beads from Gillette Stadium in my pocket. You can't see them on the camera.
All right.
Because I was literally in the middle of the field. With everybody screaming. It was incredible. It was right next to like the cheerleaders and stuff too. I'll post some photos in the Discord in like Nick's lab or something. But then we went back and like I was just like in awe, smiling from ear to ear. I don't even know what happened in the second half. I was just like soaking all that in. It was I can't describe how crazy positive that whole weekend was. Whew. But that's it. What was that? 20 minutes amazing. Or so? That was
something
incredible.
Like that.
Once in a lifetime. It's hard to describe.
Do you like Star Wars: The Old Republic? Do you like Destiny 2? Do you like World of Warcraft? Maybe even Guild Wars 2? Lord of the Rings Online, maybe? Who doesn't want to be Frodo? I mean, Final Fantasy 14? All these games are in one place. That is AIE. You want to go to AIE-guild.org, get our Discord information at the top right-hand corner of the screen. Find out about this wonderful family-friendly gaming community. And yes, this podcast is not family-friendly, but the guild is.
Exactly.
And let me tell you, I've been involved with this clan guild 6 years.
Yeah.
Now
since pre-podcast.
Julia was born.
So.
Right around where Julia was born.
Right.
And almost 7 years. And I have had many opportunities to go other places, join other places. And I don't, because this is home. And I'm telling you right now, I've never met such a wholesome group of people. They do awesome stuff. We have a guild calendar where you can check the Google Calendar that's on the website and see what's going on, because every single night of the week, there's something awesome happening in the guild. And I'm not kidding. So no matter what game you play, there's a game for you.
And we would love to have you.
Thanks, Nick. So I already went pee.
And I'm completely and utterly doing the dance. So we'll be right back.
Jeez, Nick, hurry up. We're trying to finish this podcast.
And we're back. So today, first things first, I want to give sincere condolences to all of our Floridian Nerds community members who have been affected by Hurricane Ian. I know some of you have lost a lot, and we just want you to know before we go on that we're thinking about you. And
you're awesome.
You're awesome.
Yeah. We appreciate your updates in Discord saying like, hey, we're over here, we're dealing with that and whatnot.
And we're okay.
Yes. It's
like, I know like it sucks, but like just us hearing that you're okay means the world.
It does. So, in our second segment today, we are talking about gaming news. So, we have a few different topics that we want to chat about, starting with the Dragonflight release date is changing.
No, it
It's
says
not changing. They released it.
changing death penalty.
They're changing the death penalty in Dragonflight now. And I put that in there because I know it's a big thing for Marcus. He really hates the fact that he has to walk back, and if he doesn't, then there's a severe penalty. They're changing that in Dragonflight. It's not going to be as terrible to die anymore. But yes, there is the Dragonflight.
Okay, so what Atrax is being very cryptic about, everybody, and he's not explaining to you. So in World of Warcraft, when you die,
So bossy.
wait, what do you mean? I'm just being thorough.
Wait, okay, so hold on. So
wait, you guys
Dragonflight
blamed
is
me.
in.
You guys, wait. You guys blamed me for everything going wrong all night.
Yep.
That's why I'm crabby.
Oh.
You were crabby beforehand.
No, that's a lie. Everybody.
You were crabby because I have Android.
Well, that's you're a modern psychopath. You know what I mean? Buy an iPhone. Come to the fucking light side of the force.
It's not even light or dark side. It's just like the sane side.
Yeah, sane. Yeah. Anyways.
It's like instead of a lightsaber, you're using like lightsaber nunchucks. It's just chaos.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you can have a video call whenever you want it. But I'm still going to buy a phone that's still using things that we used in 1998. You might have to tap 3 twice to get
the letter C.
C.
You're such a dick.
No.
Oh.
Anyway,
So Dragonflight launches on November 28th.
No.
Wait, is that an expansion for World of Warcraft?
Yeah, so Dragonflight is the next expansion for World of Warcraft.
Okay.
What I don't like about the game is when you die, you could be like 6 miles away, but it's going to teleport you to a graveyard.
Okay.
And then you have to take your dead ghost body and walk all the way back to your character who's dead 6 miles away. It's a terrible design.
That sucks.
You should just be able to auto res where you are and start over.
Well, so it's not like you can respawn with the current system. You can respawn at the graveyard without having to walk back to where you were.
Yeah.
But you would get what's called resurrection sickness, which would basically make your abilities just worthless. So previously it was, I think this is what it is now, 25% durability loss on items, and you get 10 minutes of resurrection sickness debuff. And the debuff would reduce all your attributes by I think it's either 50 or 75%. So for 10 minutes, you would do basically no damage.
That's rough. What is that to combat against?
People trying to use death to speedrun places.
Oh, that makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
And yeah, to just let's see here.
To cheat
what was
stuff.
it? They explained it in this. Yeah, from using spirit healers as a form of quick transportation. So they didn't want people to just be like, oh, okay, well, I completed my quest. I'll just, instead of running back, I'll just die and res at the graveyard. They wanted to combat that.
That's good. That's true. That's fair enough.
Which I get it, but in SWTOR, that's what I like, is where you die, you res right there and they give you 10 seconds to get to a safe location before you're active in the game. And for me, I like that feature because it's very direct. You're in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. It's really hard, but a lot of people are really excited about this expansion. A lot of positivity, even on YouTube, even Asmongold is excited for it. You know what I mean? I find that Shadowlands and the one before that, people were not excited for. this one people actually are. So I wanted to ask you, and the reason why I wanted to talk to you, when a game company goes through what Blizzard just did, right? With all like the allegations and everything fucked up that they did, and all these people were like, I'm never playing this game again. But then they all slowly creep back. Right?
Yeah.
My
Or a
question
lot of them
is,
anyway. Yeah.
well, right. Well, not everybody. Some people unsubbed and never went back. They're like, fuck you guys are asshole scumbags. Like, fuck off. But some people are going back. And I wanted to ask you guys, what could a studio do to get you to never play one of their IPs again?
Well, I mean, it depends on the studio, right? Like, what IP are you talking about?
Well, any of them. If you think about like,
I'm trying to think of something that I really enjoy. Like,
okay,
Bethesda.
so like Activision Call of Duty, right? Because you do like Call of Duty, Nick. If they had the same allegations that Blizzard did, and it's really fucked up, would you never play their games again?
No. I mean, like, yes, I would still play the games.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep,
the problem
I'm the
is,
same
right?
way.
Like, there's always people that aren't doing the bad stuff in those companies and like are just like trying to do their job no matter
Yeah.
what.
Mhm.
So
Right.
like, there's always like, and most of the time, it's a majority of the people are just there trying to do their job, not doing the nefarious things. So like, I don't know. Is the game good? Like, yes. So then I'm gonna play it. I might not buy
Right.
it right away, or like I'm certainly not gonna pre-order it if I don't want to support the company. I might wait until it's on sale or something and then get it and play, because that makes sense to not want to financially support the corporation and stuff. But
Yeah,
Matrix,
I
what were you
think
gonna say?
I was just gonna say, I think it depends, like, if the company as a whole is, because it seemed like, at least from my viewpoint, like, it seemed that no one, whether you were working at the company or not, like, the stuff that was brought out, right? It was everywhere, and it was certain people. Whereas it wasn't like the entire company was, specific, at least, they weren't like trying to push that. That wasn't like their agenda where they're like, yeah, this is what,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if some company was somehow like, I don't know, secretly all Nazis or something, and they were like making games to fund the Fourth Reich or something, and every
Yeah.
single person was like, okay, yeah, obviously I'm not buying things from that company. But like if it's like personal allegations like this, where it's like several, like, not community culture of like sexual harassment amongst managers, like then like all of the ground level people aren't probably not doing that behavior. It's like a hierarchical thing, like at Activision. I'm using that as an example. So like, I'm not gonna not play the product per se, but like I might wait for it to be on sale or something so that it hurts the company stock prices or contributes to that. But like, I know at some level there's just people trying to do their jobs and who are probably victims of whatever nefarious behavior in this case. And so like, I don't hate the whole company, but I'm not gonna like go out of my way to really financially support that company, if that makes sense. But I'll probably
Very much so.
Yeah.
And it also depends too, I think, on the quality of the game. Where it's like, if the company has a bad reputation and the game is just kind of like average or maybe subpar, then there's no point in supporting it. But if the game is a really high quality and the company has some allegations come against it, but then they say, all right, well, we're going to try and fix it because, we have a reputation to uphold. I think that's a little bit different.
Sure.
There's kind of, I don't know. There it would have to be pretty extreme for me to completely quit and say I'm not going to support an entire company of people.
Yeah,
That
that's what I'm
that would
saying.
be pretty extreme.
Sure.
Right.
All right.
Wait, Marcus, what do you think about that?
Yeah.
I'm kind of toxic about it. Like, people make mistakes. People do fucked up shit every day.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to stop playing a game because the company as a whole sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like in the example of Activision Blizzard with their allegations, right?
Like they're
Right.
it's fucked up what they did, and like the people who are in like a part of it all got fired or let go or they resigned, and like they're getting it's like a new revamped Activision or Blizzard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, new culture in there.
Like, right. And maybe that's what they needed. Maybe these scumbags needed to be shit canned. Anyways, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can't do that stuff. But for me, like, if I'm playing a game and I love the game and they do some fucked up shit, I'm going to keep playing the game, you know?
Right.
I kind of feel like the game versus the company, there's like enough of a disconnect. I think that's what I was trying to articulate by saying like there's other people that worked on it that didn't do bad stuff. Like, I don't know. I feel like with games, there's like a disconnect to where I'm not necessarily, by playing the game, you can like the game, and that's a different thing than like supporting the company per se.
Right. Like that.
Right.
But like on the flip side, if like, let's say in somewhere buried inside of user agreement for any game out there, it says they can look at the content that's on your computer if they choose to, like spy kind of shit, that I would make it so I would never, if that came out and I found that out, I would never play that game again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
That's
I feel like that's a violation of my privacy rather than anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think it also depends like on the side, because now there's like indie game companies. If it's a small group of people that made a game and then they're directly involved with nefarious activities, then I would probably be like, all right, well, maybe I'll avoid the game and just because there's so many games to choose from. I'd rather support a different company. But a giant company like Blizzard Activision, there's so many good, hardworking people that contributed to WoW and Call of Duty and all these things where it's like the last thing they need is a bunch of players dipping out because their higher up was nefarious, you know?
Agreed. Yeah, if it's like two dudes in a garage making a game who are assholes, that's different than like, three, 20 managers, physicians.
Yes,
exactly.
And thousands of people just doing their jobs.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So because we're going to be talking about the Multiverses tournament a little bit in more depth, I heard a rumor that Mark Hamill's Joker is being added to the game. Now, if that happens, that's something that could get me in, because still to this day, I think Mark Hamill's Joker is one of the best ever.
I agree.
Oh yeah, his voice is top tier. And I looked into this a little bit too. It's data mined, so it's one of those like, it's kind of a leak. It's probably they found some voice lines in there that are Mark Hamill, but it's not like an official release yet, but I really hope so, because I mean, they've got Batman, they've got Harley Quinn, they've got Superman, why not
at this point?
Please.
Well, it's all Warner Brothers, so that's
they can. That's what I love about Multiverses personally, is Smash Bros has such a great character list, but they're also very limited, at least at the time, to like Nintendo and Disney.
Right.
But now, and they seem to be very limited to only Nintendo. Like you can only play it if you have a Switch. But Multiverses, you can play it on any platform you want.
I'm excited to play it.
A huge cast of characters.
I'm going to try like hell to join. When's the tournament?
November 5th. So you have over a month to prepare.
But is that what day of the week is that?
Saturday.
Perfect. I don't stream. I'm in. I'm not. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to ever play it, and I'm going to go in blind the first time for the tournament.
All right. I better make it a double elimination tournament so Marcus can at least play 2 rounds.
Well, I
Marcus
played
is just
Super
gonna get
Smash.
Yeah, but all the controls are different.
It is different.
Oh, it is?
I would say play it at least once to set up your controls how you want them to be before the tournament. Because that was the first thing I did, is right away I played one match and I was like, oh, I got to remap the controls, which I love. One thing I love about Multiverses is the customization.
Yes.
What
is going to be the first, second, and third place prize? Or do you not have that decided?
I have not decided that yet. I'm thinking either like some Gleamium, which is the Multiverses currency, so that you can buy yourself some skins or something. We'll do some Working Class Nerds merch. I don't know. Prizes
sounds like a
to
good
be
win.
determined, but There will be prizes for first, second, and third. Also, I'm kind of thinking I can't make it too expensive because I'm gonna do 1 versus 1 and 2 versus 2 for the tournament. So there'll be 6
I'll-
prizes.
I'll pay for the second and third place prize for both divisions, and second place will be a piece of Working Class Nerds merch. Third place for both will be a Working Class Nerds mug. Done.
There you go. You heard it here first. Second and third. First place, then to be determined. We'll make it something really good. Probably
Hell yeah.
Gleamium, so you can buy yourself some skins and
Skin.
show off that you are an amazing Multiverses player. So
Hell
that
yeah.
will be Saturday. Signups should be. I'm gonna try and figure out the signups this week. This upcoming week, starting on Monday, I'm gonna work with the Discord bot in the Working Class Nerds Discord. So if you want to be a part of that, either a 1 versus 1 or a 2 versus 2, look in the Discord this week. I'll make an announcement for sure once everything is set up and ready to go. It's going to be a fun time for the community. I won't be playing in the tournament. I'm going to be hosting it. Yours truly will host it. We'll have a great time.
Sweet.
And it's for fun. All skill levels welcome. Come
So
in
that is-
and have fun.
Saturday, November 5th. And what time is it at?
I haven't figured out yet. If we have, it mostly depends on how many people we have. If there's a ton of people, then we're gonna have to start earlier to get through the matches for the finals. I'm
Makes
hoping
sense.
that the finals will be sometime in the evening around maybe 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. So it's kind of right in the evening for everybody for the finals. So that should be the schedule. But yeah, it should be it'll probably be a long day depending on how many people we have.
Makes sense. Roger that. Well, very cool. Marcus, what's next?
Yes.
Oh, I'm handling all this. Okay.
Well, you wrote the list, so
I don't
All
know
right.
what the next one is. On
All
the
right, so
list.
I
could
will.
go through the
I'll
other
just.
one.
I'll handle it all. You guys sit back, put your feet up, squiggle around the chair.
I just don't know what single player versus
those
online
legs.
RPG means.
yep, these pearly white hot dogs.
All right, so I wanted to talk to you guys real quick about single player versus multiplayer RPGs, right? So
Okay.
Nick, you're embedded in this Witcher 3, right? You're like
Yep.
immersed.
It's my
Me,
shit.
I'm buried in Destiny 2. Atrax is engulfed into Guild Wars 2, right? Or World of Warcraft, one or the other.
Yeah.
The thing for me about an online game is that it doesn't end, right? There's
Okay.
always new stuff. It could take a while to get it with some games, like a really long time for an update, but but it does come eventually. It might only last, the story stuff might only last 15 minutes, but like it comes slowly, but it keeps you coming back, right?
Okay.
Where
Right.
with a single player RPG, there is an end to that game. And I wanted to ask you both, why do you prefer a single player versus a multiplayer or a multiplayer versus a single player? I'm going to go with Nick first.
I was gonna say I can go first. It's really easy. I can summarize it with one word. The one word is immersion. So for me, I prefer a single player action RPG because I like the progression of an RPG. I should say, I like the customization of an RPG where you can mold your own story and see how you want to traverse this universe. I like it how it's an action RPG because it moves the pace a little bit more. Like it makes it exciting to have combat elements in your RPG. But then I like how it's single player because the biggest thing for me is getting immersed in the world, and like that's why I like RPGs that have a like really dense lore background, like the Fallout series, Elder Scrolls series with Skyrim, The Witcher. Obviously, I'm super into right now. The Middle Earth series, like Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor, they have these really, really rich lore backgrounds, so you feel like you're in the middle of these universes. So with that, I don't like to have, other people running through my game that constantly remind me, oh, hey, this is a game. you know, and you're trying to
Yeah.
like get immersed in this world, and it's like, oh, I am Talion, like the ranger trying to like build my orc army, and you're getting into it, and then it's like, I don't know, it feels like if you were watching a movie and then all of a sudden like an ad popped up on the screen that said like, don't forget, subscribe to Amazon for 50% off or whatever. It's like it takes you out of the movie, like if you're in the movie theater. And
Right.
so
I
like
get it.
so like when I play an MMO, like I've played, Star Wars: The Old Republic, I tried Elder Scrolls Online. I think that's the only two I've really tried
Destiny.
to play. Destiny 2, I've tried to play substantially. Destiny, I think I've gravitated towards the most because it's got that first person shooter gives me such a multiplayer feel, so I'm used to other people being around. But like
Right.
to get into the story, it is definitely still a little jarring to see other people around. So I didn't get into the story as much as other RPGs. So like to have other people around in my story elements, it takes me out of it, and I don't enjoy that story, like the lore and like getting immersed as much in those types of games for me. And that's a big piece of why I enjoy them, a single player action RPG. So versus like if I go play like a multiplayer game that's like a Call of Duty multiplayer, a Halo multiplayer, whatever, I know that I'm in that headspace and it's a different headspace, and then that's totally fine to see other people, obviously. It's like the competitive headspace.
Yeah.
But that's me anyways. HX, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty similar to you. I feel like the single player RPGs are very much like reading a book or watching a movie or TV series where because it has a very defined end, then the development team goes into it knowing and they can flesh out everything. Okay, this, and this, everything will fit here. This is the set story. You can go wherever you want within these parameters. It's fine. Like you're not going to break anything, like Nick said. You're not going to get taken out of immersion. And you have, especially when you don't play it all the way through or you don't know anything about the game going into it, then you have that feeling of, oh, I have to leave the game and go to work and then come back to continue the story. Same with like putting down your book or ending an episode on a cliffhanger or something. Whereas with an MMO, it feels like, well, not it feels like, it is, they are, because there's no end, it's not like super, super fleshed out and focused on the lore and whatnot. It's there. They have to have it there. But because there's so much of it, it just, that part of the game kind of fades by. And what you're really focusing on is just gearing up your character so that you can make it to the end game and do the hard dungeons, PvP, things of that nature with your friends. Like Nick was saying, it's got the multiplayer aspect, so it's not really about the story. It's more about just like hanging out with your friends, getting awesome gear, fighting awesome monsters, and looking really cool, right? Like that's why I play an MMO. They say Guild Wars 2 is like Fashion Wars, is like the second name for it, because really it's about looking good while you're beating up on the same boss that you've killed like a million times. But you're just fighting it on whatever difficulty is challenging to you and your group. You've got new people you're playing with, like you're playing the lower levels. If you're playing with people that you play with all the time, then you're playing with, you're playing the higher levels. But you can't do that in a single.
Yeah.
Right.
I like the multiplayer aspect because the game doesn't end. I get really fucked up when I finish a single player game, like really fucked up, because like and I've said this before, and it was Mass Effect 2. When Mass Effect 2 ended, like I went on a hiatus from video games for like 2 to 3 weeks because I was so upset that the game was over.
Yeah.
Like I was heartbroken that the game ended. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I'm like,
I understand.
And I was just like, oh my God. Like what now? And like I played other games and I would play for literally, I would start the game and it would get to the loading screen and I would shut it off, or I would start to play and then go, this game sucks. Even though the game was awesome, I just couldn't allow myself to be immersed in it. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But where in a multiplayer game, Destiny, Star Wars, World of Warcraft, any of those, I feel like you guys say the story isn't fleshed out. I disagree. I feel like it is fleshed out, but at the same time, you know that when you get to the end of that story, there might be like a fireworks display, but you know that in the next content update, there's going to be something new, a new story to get yourself immersed in. And so that for me is like, it's almost, it's reassuring that like, no matter what happens, there's going to be more content.
I wouldn't say that it's not necessarily fleshed out. I just feel like there's less lateral, like
It carries less
but
weight.
like it's less girthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for using Destiny 2 as an example, those stories are really linear. Like you go from this story piece to this story piece to this story piece. There's no like side quests that help you like gear up towards the next main story if you want.
That is correct.
Well, there's no like exploration to go find like the bandit camp over there. Like I'm comparing it to The Witcher 3, for example.
Yeah.
Like
I get
there's no like other stuff to do in the story, which is fine. That's not what the game's about. But like it's a different story experience, and the lore is really rich, but it's just different. So like not having those side quests and like other options make it feel less heavy, like you were saying.
And in addition to that, like you use WoW, or I would even use SWTOR as an example, where like the stories can be different, like they can be written different, but ultimately every character kind of ends up in like the same place. Like all the multiplayer yeah, the story may quote unquote end differently, but your world hasn't changed. It doesn't look any different. Whereas in the single player RPGs, the whole world can be changed, where it's like this whole section, because you screwed something up, you can't go in this section like whatsoever. Whereas in something like WoW, it could be like, well, you can't go in this section because you didn't pick the right covenant, but like you have your own equally similar section over here. It's just like the same thing, but it's in a different area, because they can't give like the variance can't be too much in the end game, because then people complain, right? Like, oh, this class is broken, or this is busted, or blah, blah, blah. There's no worry with that in single player games. The whole world can drastically change from playthrough to playthrough.
Yeah, I did that by accident in my first Witcher 3 playthrough years ago. I skipped like probably 20 hours worth of story by accident because I went like right to Novigrad and skipped all of Velen. You know, and it's just like that would impact the story, and it did. It like cut out a bunch of stuff, and I couldn't do a bunch of stuff, and it was all screwed up. But like you can play the game like that if you want to, but you can't like you're saying, you can't have those variances in a multiplayer game like an MMO.
Right.
So it's just a different model with different goals, you know?
Yeah.
So Google has announced that they're shutting down the Stadia. Is this the end for cloud gaming?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it's the end, because I feel like you still have like Xbox. Well, that's not really cloud gaming.
Yes,
right?
it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get into that in a second.
It regularly.
I do too. So I bought that Backbone controller.
Yeah.
And I plug my iPhone into it. I use the cloud gaming. Now, playing Destiny on that is terrible. Like, don't do it. That experience is god awful. But playing a game like Minecraft Dungeons is fucking fun, because it'll stream perfectly via the internet to play a dungeon crawler game.
And what my buddy does on PC, he uses the Xbox Cloud for PC, and he can run, his PC isn't nearly as strong. He has a 970, so he can't run some games on ultra graphics, but like the Xbox Game Pass games, the ones that offer cloud, he uses cloud gaming and he can play in like ultra HD, and it doesn't tax his computer and it doesn't crash either. So for that, I think that's also a good thing. Like if you can't afford a super beefy upgraded PC, then I think cloud gaming will probably, cater to those consumers who just, they can afford to pay the 10 or $15 a month for a cloud gaming subscription,
Sure.
where they can just
Yeah.
play a ton of games for super HD res,
That's a good point. That's sweet.
Yeah.
But I think the problem with Stadia from Google is like they don't have that like established gaming market. Like Google's not a gaming company, where
Right.
Xbox or PlayStation are gaming companies. So people aren't like, even with like the Steam, I forgot what they called it. It's like the
Steam
backbone,
Deck.
but
Steam
Steam has
Deck?
Steam Deck. Like Steam's
Yeah.
a gaming company, so like I can see how, although that's not going to have a giant market
That's
share.
not a
like
cloud service, though. You're downloading the game to this piece of hardware.
Well, you know what I'm trying to say though, like an offshoot of regular gaming channels, right? Outside of
Right.
PC and console,
Yeah, but that's
just like
still
sit down and play.
downloading it. We're talking about cloud gaming. Like everything
I
is just being
know.
streamed.
I'm not comparing it to literally cloud gaming. I'm
Oh.
just saying as like an offshoot
Business
of the
model.
as a
I
business
see.
model
Yes.
that's outside of the standard issue sit down console or sit down PC gaming, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of tough for Google to like attract people to that offshoot outside of their normal way to game, on top of not being a gaming company,
Yeah, it's
if-
like if Intel made a console or something like that, I feel like it would need a couple generations to be proven good. Like a majority of gamers are just going to buy either a Switch, an Xbox, or a PlayStation. They're not
Right.
going to gamble with a new technology that isn't
right,
a trusted brand.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think for that reason, Stadia was kind of doomed from the start.
It was
You know.
doomed.
Doomed. And then it
Like-
had like rough launch too.
Well,
That's the
yeah,
other
everything
thing.
has
It
rough
has to
launch.
be when it launches, then on top of it, it needs to be really good. It can't have
Can have a rocky start. See, I feel like with
Mhm.
Meta, like they bought a gaming company. So like Oculus was a fairly trusted gaming company. So they get a little bit of a shoehorn to where like people trust that product a little bit more. Granted, the whole
Right.
metaverse thing, I think it's fucking stupid, but that's a different subject for a different time.
Well,
But-
no. So I'm going to touch on that. I would love it if you had an Oculus Quest 2 and A-Trax, and we could do the podcast just the way we are. No video in Zencaster, and all of us are in like a room, and we're all an avatar. Like I would be,
A
Yeah.
Tweety like dancer.
yes. But like, and we just do
I'd
it
just
in
be
the
a robot.
we would just do it in the metaverse. I think that would be a pretty cool experience, right?
I used to have an Oculus. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think it would be a cool experience to do it, but I do agree with you. I think it's dumb, but yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
moving
Moving on.
on. Overwatch 2 is coming, but it's replacing Overwatch 1.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
This is technically like old news. It was announced back in June, I think, or something like that, that Overwatch 2 would be replacing Overwatch. I am strongly against this, actually, personally, because it adds to a trend that I've noticed in the gaming industry, which is instead of completing a game that already exists, we'll just try and make it seem like, I don't know, we'll just like replace the old with the new, but it's still on the old stuff. Now, maybe from a gaming perspective, I'm sure it's a lot cheaper to just like transfer the servers over and do all of this stuff. But end your game. Don't like, oh, yep, Overwatch 1 is, like, I don't know. I feel like they should officially shut it down, or I don't know, maybe even keep servers up a little bit. And I'm very torn on it. I just feel like they should end it. Just say, don't cover over it.
I actually have the opinion that if they're replacing a game, right?
Yep.
If they're going to replace it, then if you own Overwatch 1, you should get Overwatch 2 for $10 off.
Well, it's free to play.
Overwatch 2 is free?
That's the other problem that I have with it, is that they are changing Overwatch, the game that people have paid 60, 20, 40 bucks, whatever for. Now they are replacing it with Overwatch 2, which is going to be free to play. and of course have like loot boxes and all that stuff.
That's interesting.
And
Yeah.
they, on top of that, they said all of this is another thing that I kind of don't like. They said all of your content that is coming from Overwatch 1, or like all of the stuff you bought in Overwatch 1 will be available in Overwatch 2, which like yes, it's great
Wait.
that all of the stuff that you spent money on in the first game now transfers over to the second game, but like it just to me shows that like it's not a different game. It's just a giant game update. And they're
Right.
calling it Overwatch 2.
Right.
That's what I mean is like it doesn't feel like a new game to me, even though you call it Overwatch 2. It's just a giant update.
What do you think, Nick?
No, I'm with you. I'm with Atrax on this one. It feels shitty, you know,
Right.
to have that. It feels like a game update that they're calling a game, especially because they're replacing it. So that means like they're using the same servers or like it's not any extra resources for this new game. It's new IP, whatever. It's just like just modifying the old stuff into the new stuff. Which
Right.
is not that it's not actually new stuff. It's just sort of modified, you know.
Well, and it's like, are they gonna? My other question with is like, are they gonna keep going with it? Like, if they make an Overwatch 3, will it just
No, I don't
cross
think
Transfer.
so.
over Overwatch 2? You know, like imagine if the next Call of Duty they're like, okay, for Modern Warfare 2, like we're not making a new launcher. It's just going to replace the old Modern Warfare launcher. You're not going to be able to launch Modern Warfare anymore. It's going to be Modern Warfare 2 now. Everybody's going to be like, well, I paid $60 for Modern Warfare. Why am I like, even if Modern Warfare 2 was free to play, they'd be like, I want my game. Even,
That's a
play it
good
with
point.
some old friends or whatever. I don't know.
I think
That's a good
Overwatch
point,
2
too.
is it. I think they'll just constantly update it forever. I think
Probably.
that's the model. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And then you're just constantly stuck with Overwatch 2, and people are like, well, where's Overwatch 1? Oh, well, that like got taken away when Overwatch. So like they shut it down, or no, they just replaced it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
It seems really odd to me.
To
It'd
never
like,
be able to play Overwatch again because now Overwatch 2 is out. That's a good point too. Like,
Well,
you
or
can't go
even if-
back.
or even if they took all of the Overwatch 1 assets and then put it in Overwatch 2.
yeah,
Well,
that's true.
To me, that's just lazy, because that's not a new. You're just taking a majority, and then again, you're at. I don't know. It'd be like if World of Warcraft suddenly was like, we're doing World of Warcraft 2, and the original World of Warcraft isn't going to be available anymore. Like, it's just WoW is now turning into WoW 2 immediately. I don't know.
Yeah, it
I have
feels
very
bad.
mixed feelings on it.
I'm with you. That feels crappy to me. You know.
It feels the same way as when they removed content from Destiny 2 to make
Yeah.
way for new expansions. It's like, well, if your engine is that full, end the game and make another one. Just continue with you can continue, it's fine. Just then you have space for the new generation.
Right.
It seems lazy to me.
It seems lazy to me too. I do not understand at all.
Okay, final
But-
question. NVIDIA announced their 4000 series video cards. 4090, 4080. What do you guys think?
I give it until. All right, Atrax. I have a wager for you. Okay, I'll set the line.
All right.
Are you going to bet over or under the date of April 1st, 2023, when Marcus gets a 4090?
Oh, I'm going to say under.
All right, I'll take the over.
Because he already said he has a pre-order line on one. So
Yeah, that's
I'm
fair.
sure. I mean, actually, I guess I should say it was the release date for before or after
October
April
12th.
1st. Oh, October 12th?
Oh,
They're releasing before the holiday season? Yeah, I'll take the under on that.
son of a! That's why I'm not. That's why I'm
No
not a
way.
bookmaker. Everybody, that was a terrible line. I should have done November.
Actually, so here's the thing. So here's
Yeah,
what I know.
or like January.
So my line on the pre-order says I'm all set, but I may not see it until December. So the initial pre-orders that were out are already sold out for October and November. But here's the problem: is nobody knows if these cards are going to make it overseas because of everything going on overseas. So so like the first round of cards, from what I understand, are already here and they're already gone. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, they're already like allocated to pre-sales. Yeah.
correct. So the next round of them, I'm sure stores are going to have 100 cards each or whatever for day one sales. But other than that, who knows when we're going to see them again? You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I will say this. So here's the positive of what I'm going to do. When I get my 4090, I will take my 3090 and put it in another computer and have that be my streaming PC.
Ooh.
There you
Dual
go.
PC.
I'm
Let's
just
go.
kidding. I'm going to take that 3090 and sell it to somebody who needs a card.
There you go.
You
That's
know
a
what I
good
mean?
option, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could sell it. You could sell them a really nice 3080 as well.
I don't have a 3080 though.
I do. I'm saying you could give me the 3090.
Yeah, but
And
you're
then-
still using a 1080p monitor. You don't need the 3090. Your card
don't-
is
Nick,
beast
Nick,
mode.
quick upgrade.
Don't hate on my 1080
1080p
monitor,
in 2022 is like owning an Android phone.
dude.
Dude,
It's curved. Okay,
wait. Listen, I don't care.
I've
buy
got
it to-
panoramic view of my
Dude, buy
1080.
that monitor that you have in 1440p and then tell me the reality of what you're actually looking at.
Dude, I like the pixels. Okay, I like seeing the little dots.
It's
Dude.
probably a lot less taxing on his 3080.
Yeah,
They're
dude,
my
he's
friends.
using like 4% of his 1080 3080
I
and
know. I
1080.
get like, dude, The
What
Witcher
CPU
runs at
do
like,
you have?
huh?
What CPU do you have?
An i7 of some sort. I forget.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
going there.
Nick has the i7 10700 series.
All right.
Yeah, no,
That's
I
a
might be
pretty good
11th gen. I
No,
forget.
you're not 11.
You could hold two monitors for sure.
Oh yeah, no, I have two 1080 monitors.
No, at
Oh,
1440p.
okay.
I'll tell you right now. Oh, I see. So yeah,
get
I
a
have an Intel
1440.
i7 10700K CPU at 3.8 gigahertz. I have 16 gigabytes of RAM, and yeah, 3080.
Yeah, your PC is great.
It's
Get
shreds.
them UHD monitors, man. I've only got one.
I could. That's probably
Wait.
that might be.
Wait. You only have one monitor on your computer?
No, I have two monitors, but my second monitor is a 1080p monitor. It's not a UHD monitor
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
because I don't think my video card could handle that.
Yeah.
You know, I need to upgrade my CPU in order to get 144 frames a second in 4K. I'm being
Oh, yeah.
bottlenecked by my i9 9900K.
It's a tough life out there
It's a hard knock life for me.
for us.
It's a hard knock life for me. Listen, I don't do anything else. I buy work boots, work clothes. Like everybody says, what's your style? It's a work shirt and pants, work pants. Like 99% of the time, if you see me, I'm in work clothes because that's all I fucking do. It's the truth.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
Yeah.
true.
I
you know
believe
what I
it.
mean?
You're
Like-
currently wearing work clothes.
I'm
Yeah.
wearing shorts now because my Carhartts were covered in spray because I was spraying something and I didn't like pay attention that I was like instead of spraying the gun away from me, I was spraying it towards me. And I looked at my
Oh.
shirt and I look like my shirt is all white and my pants are all like have like very light fairy dust of like white.
The speckle.
Yeah, the speckle, and I'm like, fuck, these pants are ruined. I did buy I did buy new pants, and here's the shitty thing about being a cabinet maker that sprays the shit. I can never wear shorts to work because when I'm
Yeah.
spraying cabinets, if I don't wear pants, that overspray gets all over my legs, and that shit sucks to wash off.
That's
yeah,
true.
and I'm sure your skin absorbs a little bit of it too, which over time would not.
Dude,
Right.
I cut wood for a living. That shit can't be healthy to breathe in.
No.
Also, no. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, so because I handled all of those, I'm done. I'm just answering working class questions, bitches.
No problemo. So first question we've got comes from our good friend Tarquin, aka Quinn, aka I don't know what else to call him. It's just Quinn. So what is the cutest animal you've ever seen in real life? I can go
In
first.
real life.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
gonna
Nick.
say puppies.
Yeah, I once saw a Burmese, Burmese,
Yeah,
I
Bernese
forget.
Mountain Dog.
Burmese mountain dog puppy in real life, and my God, that is the cutest creature I've ever seen in my whole life. It makes me turn into a puddle just thinking about it. The thing is so fluffy. It's so happy to see everybody, and it was like teddy bear sized, and it looks like a teddy bear. And I'm a big dog guy. I love puppies anyway, so that's Bernese mountain dog puppy. I basically melted.
Yeah. I'm with you on the puppies. My mom used to show dogs when I
Oh, yeah.
was preteen, slowly into the teenage years, and I would go with her every once in a while when she would go to interesting places like Seattle and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, oh man, so many different kinds of puppies. Bernese Mountain Dogs for sure. Border Collies,
Oh yeah.
Australian Shepherds, and
Yep.
Golden Labs have just super, and Akita puppies. All of them just super, super cute. So definitely puppies for me. Marcus?
Totally agree.
So I have two. The first is when I was at Disney and we did the safari.
Yeah.
I saw a baby hippopotamus, and it was probably the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Aww.
You know what I mean? Because it had like little tiny
Yeah.
like T-Rex legs, but like it was still big for like it
Yeah.
like gets born at like 100 pounds, but it's like baby compared to the other hippos.
Right.
Right.
And it was like I was like, oh. So that
It's got
probably
like,
is the
it's
cutest.
got like the wrinkles.
Yeah, but my German Shepherd Maggie was the cutest fucking puppy ever because it had like one ear up and the other one was floppy, and like just like like it was just a fluff ball. You know what I mean? So like,
Yep.
still to
Yeah.
this day, she was the cutest. Anyways,
Yeah. Adorable. Puppies are so adorable. Doritos asks, what is the worst computer issue you've had?
Oh, my power supply failed.
yeah,
didn't-
Nick,
I didn't
know-
that shit.
I didn't know what the fuck happened that time. It was due to like the excessive amount of dust from the like 1890s ventilation that the place I was living in had.
Mm.
That was this computer.
How did it
just
get
like,
fixed?
oh yeah, I just handed it to Marcus and said, "Please help." And then Marcus
I think I
took it.
remember that even.
Marcus took it all apart and found like 3 cats worth of dust.
It was
And
gross.
attached to my power supply. Was like, well, yeah, that's why the power supply literally melted
Yep.
because I blew out the inside, but like the power supply was in like a different compartment in the bottom, and I had my
Right.
PC on the floor at the time, and it had like that forced hot air like vents coming out of the bottom. Then you had the big vent that would like suck the air back down.
Mm-hmm.
But like the house is from like the early 1900s probably, and those vents have probably never been cleaned. Like I know I got sick like 4 or 5 times with respiratory shit just from the dust. So like I know there was just an excessive amount of dust. Like I
It
would
was
have to,
so gross,
yeah.
everybody, that like the fan wouldn't spin because there was so much. It was like a dryer
Wow.
lint.
thickness
Oh my
of
God.
It was
of dust.
disgusting. Like he's lucky his house didn't catch on fire.
Right.
Wow.
And like,
Like, when
to
that thing
clarify, the main compartment of my computer, like with the
Was
regular
clean.
fans,
Yeah, it
was
was
clean
super clean,
because I kept that clean, but like the underneath portion, there was like a different compartment with the power supply, and that's what got nasty.
It was nasty.
Yeah, and my power supply legit just melted, and I've got a new one now. This where I live now in a different apartment, it's way less dusty to begin with, and I keep it off the ground, so everything is hunky dory. But yeah, when my power supply melted, that was not fun.
What about you, Atrax?
Yeah. So for me, when I first built my PC, when I first built my first PC, which is kind of this one, but because I've upgraded the internal components so many times, it's not the same PC anymore. The case is the same though. When I first got it, everything like installing everything, I had a buddy there. Everything went smoothly. Everything was seated properly and whatnot, but the hard drive was faulty. got sent a Lemon hard drive. And so when I started installing all of the drivers and the this and that for everything, because the hard drive was faulty, it like installed them incorrectly and there was all sorts of code wrong and everything like that. So then I had to that messed with the GPU driver and everything like that. So when I actually got my good hard drive and I put it in and everything like that, I still had to I didn't have like graphics at all. I just had to I could barely see it would like pop up for a second and then it would go away. So I had to like unplug and plug it back in because for whatever reason it would work for a second and then because it ran out of code to like keep going, it just stopped working. So I could only like unplug and plug it back in. I had a couple seconds to look at the screen and click stuff and then it would go black and I'd have to unplug it and it took me like 2 hours to reinstall everything properly just with that method. And it
Wow.
was
Wow,
and that was
rip
like
that
right
guy.
when I first built my computer too. So it was it was a nightmare. That was the worst for me. For sure.
Okay.
Marcus?
I have two. What, Nick?
I was I was gonna say Marcus has had a bunch of computer problems. I feel like
Yeah.
it's like once a month that Marcus goes, my computer's broken. I gotta get a new this. Like this just broke. It failed.
No.
I'm having
Water
this failure.
jumped on my computer.
So
I need a new motherboard. Motherboard failure. My computer's
well,
computer's
so
melting down.
I
It's
had a s-
catastrophic failure.
my CPU failed, and in the process of me being frustrated and going Hulk smash, I ended up ruining the motherboard because I forgot. I was in rage. I forgot that you have to unclip the GPU, and me being a bear that I am, I grabbed the GPU and I just ripped it out of the computer, completely ripped the PCI slot off the motherboard, and I had to buy an all new motherboard, all new CPU. That day sucked. But the other one I will say is, and it's not a Streamlabs fucked me in the ass and it was awful. I turned it
I
on
remember that.
and it changed every fucking setting I had after one of their bullshit updates and it
Oh,
fucked
yeah.
everything up. So since that day, I open up Streamlabs on admin. As soon as it opens, my camera loads, all of that shit, I shut it off and I reopen it. And then it cycles all the way through. And once everything is working, I shut it off again and I do it 3 times to ensure that Streamlabs is going to fucking work right. Because Streamlabs has fucked me so many times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I go extreme crazy for that. Thanks, Doritos.
Yeah.
Doritos has another question that says, "What is your favorite thing about Halloween?"
Oh, can I go
Uh,
first?
Yeah.
Please.
All right, I have 2.
I have
Trick or treating.
Okay.
Okay. And then absolutely nothing. I don't like scary shit. Nick?
Yeah. I really mostly don't like Halloween because I'm allergic to chocolate, which Marcus always disputes, but
That's
it's true.
such bullshit. You are not allergic to chocolate.
Okay, so I'm allergic to chocolate, so I can only eat like I don't know, 25% of the candy because like I got Skittles and Starburst and stuff. But
Right.
but yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
but also I don't also hate scary shit. Like no horror movies, no anything scary. Like I'm out. No haunted houses ever. No haunted hay rides. Like if a girlfriend I have wants to go, then like she could go solo. I am not going. I'll be at home sitting on the couch watching something else or playing a video game.
there
but
you go.
I do, however, appreciate, particularly when I was in college, the scantily clad costumes that the females would wear. I super appreciate those. But
Yeah.
That was
Yep.
back when Nick was the most eligible bachelor in the nerds community.
exactly. I mean, I still appreciate
Right.
it now, but it's like looking at the menu. You know, you can't order anything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's looking at the menu when you already have your food.
Exactly.
You're not going to order another dish. You're just going to stick with what you got.
Yeah. Right.
No, for me, it's actually like the day after
Okay.
because candy is always super, super cheap because
Ooh, 50%
stores have a
off
ton of
at-
it.
The grocery
Yeah.
store.
I don't really like celebrate it or anything like that. I'm kind of with you guys where it's like I do enjoy scary stuff, but not so much to where I'm like really urged to get up and dress up and do all of that stuff. You know, like
Yeah.
if my friends have a costume party, like that's one thing, I guess, but to do it like specifically just because, I don't know, it's to me it's just like I'm not super jazzed up about it to where, but I do love the like Nick said, everybody dressing up in wonderful costumes and the super cheap candy. Same with Valentine's Day. Day after Valentine's Day, super cheap
Ugh.
candy. That is awesome. Doritos.
I will say I actively don't like Valentine's Day, but what were you gonna say? Complimenting Doritos with the two
I'm
awesome
the same
questions.
way. Yeah. And I was just gonna lead into the third, but if you wanted to keep talking about this one.
No,
we can.
please continue, sir. The floor is yours.
Which is better? Doritos with the third awesome question. Which is better, being seen and not heard, or being heard and not seen?
Well, this is an interesting philosophical question.
I can
Yeah.
answer it really quick.
Yeah,
Okay, go for it.
I have the same one.
I can do neither because I'm the size of a fucking bear. So I'm always going to be seen. And if I talk, you're going to hear me. So this does not apply to me because I'm
There
going
you
to
go.
be seen and heard everywhere
Right.
I go.
Marcus
Okay.
is like, oh no, like unapplicable. It's
Yes.
fine. We're
No, it's
good.
okay. Like,
Yeah.
N/A.
Love it.
yeah.
For me, I would say it's better to be heard and not seen than to be seen and not heard because, like, imagine if you're being seen for like something negative and just nobody's hearing what you're saying, like, or just you're never heard. You never feel like you're being heard. That's gonna suck, even if you know that everybody sees you and is aware of you. Whereas if you're heard and not seen, like, maybe people don't see you, but they hear what you're saying. They know that you're around. All that stuff.
You can still make your points and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I concur. I that's exactly what I was gonna say. I would rather be heard and not seen than seen and not heard, for sure. So the next question comes from Lady J0719. What is your favorite video game soundtrack? I got mine.
Go.
Mine is I will combine them together. Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas soundtracks. All the old like
Nice.
60s and 50s songs. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
I have two as well.
Okay.
Mine is Castlevania Symphony of the Night and Mass Effect 2.
Ooh. I have technically 3. Because it's really hard to pick between all of these. The Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 soundtracks were super nostalgic for me as a kid.
Okay.
Same with actually NBA Street Volume 2. Super nostalgic. Love that. A lot of great songs on there. And then the last one is Modern Warfare 2. That soundtrack, the OG Modern Warfare 2 soundtrack, is just epic. All the scenes that have music in it, if you listen to it even now, you just get super hype. You could use it for like workout music or something.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
So next question, No Dog 300 says, what's been your biggest struggle as a streamer? First question. And then the opposite, what's been your proudest moment in streaming? So I can go first because I think I streamed the least seriously. But biggest struggles, I haven't really had a lot of struggles streaming because I don't really try, like, not that I don't try, but I don't try to like grow my streaming channel. I really stream as like a compliment to the podcast here, and like as a time for me to dedicate like to myself, be like, hey, I'm gonna go play video games that I enjoy at this time frame. So like anybody coming into chat is just a bonus and makes like my life way better, and I appreciate them. So I haven't really had a lot of struggles. But I will say, besides initially finding like the groove of like what do I want to play on stream, because I was playing Call of Duty and then like started with New Vegas, and Marcus was like, you can't play that, you got to play something you haven't played before.
Yeah,
Then
I
ended up-
X-nayed that really fucking quick.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like once I found Horizon Zero Dawn, like I was in the groove and it's been gravy since. But that's really like barely a struggle. My proudest moment though is probably making Affiliate, because
Oh,
Like,
wow. I
yeah-
did not expect that one.
what'd you think I was gonna say?
Your birthday stream when you got raided by like 300 fucking people because you were playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh no, you were playing Destiny with me. It was your birthday and we were playing Destiny and you got raided by like 300 people. And it was just a happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Level 5 hype train, fucking crazy. And like people were just like
That's
celebrating with you. And you went from like to like, I don't even know what to do. And like after that stream, after that night, I was driving home and I think I got like 15 more texts like, dude, that was crazy. That was unbelievable. That was unbelievable. That was unbelievable. That was unbelievable.
No, you're right. Yep, you're right. That definitely trumps it. 100%. Birthday stream was crazy.
Personally, my biggest struggle has been like sticking to one game. That's the real way to grow as a streamer, is stick with a game for at least like 6 or so months. I'd say generally you want to stick with the same game all the time. That's what most people will say. But for me, I can't do that. It's so like, I've tried with games even that I love, but when I don't like to schedule playing video games. Like I don't want to, after doing 5 days a week where Monday was Dark Souls, Tuesday was Valorant, Wednesday was We Happy Few, Thursday was Halo, Friday was something. I did that for a long time and I couldn't keep that up. So for me, just trying to find that groove of being able to stick with one game, super, super difficult. And actually I still fail at it pretty quickly, pretty often. I'll find a game I'm like, yeah, and like I've stuck with multiverses for a while, but then there are some nights where I'm like, man, do I really want to play multiverses? And then I play something else for a little bit and I'm like, all right, now I can. But that's a super big struggle for me. And then proudest moment in streaming, that's actually really tough for me because I've had a lot of really, really great moments. For me, one of the things that I was really proud of was the Among Us lobbies that I did, because that was one of my streaming goals. At the time, I watched Disguised Toast doing Among Us lobbies, and I was like, I want to have that vibe on a stream at least 1 or 2 nights. And it happened multiple times. We played Goose Goose Duck, we played Among Us. Those, I would say, gathering all those people for those were one of my proudest moments for sure, because everybody still talks about them that was involved. Those were good times. And actually No Dog was there for those. So that was pretty awesome. Shout out to No Dog. Great question. Marcus?
What you got, Marcus?
I'm trying to think of like my biggest struggle as a streamer. I have 2. My biggest struggle is clicking that go live button. Like I love it, but like my day is crazy every day. So literally when I hit the go live button, know that like I sat down at my computer 5 minutes ago and I literally just put the kids to bed and I'm exhausted. And it's like, I could take the night off, no problem, but I don't quit. You know what I'm saying? And like, I give myself this self-motivating conversation. Like, I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for everybody else to come hang out with me. You know what I mean?
Right.
I said I was going to do it this night. Damn it. I'm going to do it. I would say the other biggest struggle I had was when I decided to stop streaming Star Wars: The Old Republic and switch to Destiny 2.
There were many a conversation between you and I, like you debating that.
Oh yeah, and me.
It was really a hard choice because the community was based around Star Wars: The Old Republic. We are in the content creator program for Star Wars: The Old Republic. I like that game got me through my daughter being an infant. Like being up in the middle of the night, taking care of her. And here I am just, she's up and won't sleep. So I just put on SWTOR and she sat there and watched me play SWTOR for 2 hours before she fell asleep and then put her back to bed. Like, It was a really hard choice. And like Atrax mentioned earlier, sticking with one game is true. And it hurt a lot making that switch. You know, I can't thank the people who have stuck by me no matter what, even if it's not the game they play. When those OGs come back, it means so much because it's like, wow, you've been here since the beginning. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I would say that has been the hardest, biggest struggle I've had was making that transition. Now that I did, I don't ever want to go back ever. You know,
Yeah.
to playing that game, because now even if SWTOR released their next expansion tomorrow and there was 500 hours of content, I don't think I would go back because I'm so immersed in the Destiny content, lore, everything.
Yeah, I totally
Yeah.
get it.
And this is going to sound cheese dick for sure. My proudest moment in streaming is every single night that I go live and all of you come. The fact that these people take time out of their day to come hang out with me and say hello in chat, whether it's just a hello in chat, hope you're doing good, have a great night, or the ones that stick through all night, or the ones who are having me play a hunter for one match, laughing because of the misery that it puts me through. Like those, I would say every stream I have the proudest moment, and every stream it changes. Like, oh, last night was the best, like the proudest I've been. Oh no, this stream, no matter how many ups and downs there is, the fact that people come is my proudest moment. Because you can't
totally
make
get
that
it.
shit up.
Right. Yeah, and you can't force people to show up, right? Everybody does it on their own. Doritos
It-
has another question.
Round
I didn't
4,
even see that.
Doritos.
Did you have a favorite stuffed animal growing up? If so, what was it?
Okay, can I go first?
Sure.
It wasn't a stuffed animal. It was a stuffed Hulk Hogan and Randy Macho Man Savage. And they were like, if you Google 1990s stuffed wrestling buddies, I think they were called like WWF buddies or something like that. They were
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 feet tall and they were just stuffed. I used to fucking wrestle those things like I was watching wrestling, like not armbar, like the figure 4 leg lock on them. And I would fucking smash those things around. I broke so much shit in my house because I was wrestling with those things. Did you find it?
I found them.
What are they called?
I just searched wrestling. Yeah, Tonka Ultimate Warrior Wrestling Buddies,
Yeah,
1990.
Yeah.
They sell for like $100 now.
Yes. The
There's a,
vintage Hulk Hogan 1990. Yeah, Tonka in good condition. $100.
They got
The
Jake
Ultimate
the
Warrior,
Snake.
$395. Man, I should have kept them.
That's
Yeah.
wicked funny.
Oh, they're on Amazon.com now. Oh, but they're the
Hulk
new
Hogan,
ones.
Randy Savage,
Bret the
Million
Hitman
Dollar
Hart.
Man, Ted DiBiase, Ultimate Warrior.
See, it's weird
There's
to see
a
a product
commercial, too.
that's Tonka that wasn't a truck.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Tonka was like a General Toys company until.
Funny that
you
you
know.
mentioned that. I used to have a video game that had like its own, it was a Tonka truck driving game, and it had this plastic Tonka, it looked like it had a driving wheel and a steering wheel, or a steering wheel and a shifter, and a lever for like doing trucks, the dump truck up and down, or the excavator and stuff. And you literally strapped it to your keyboard, and it would just push when you would like turn, it would just push the key down
That's cool. I
on
think I
the
remember
actual
that.
keyboard. And so then you could just like, it was like you were driving your truck and you would just strap it to your keyboard. Those were, man, Tonka made some great games and like great children's toys back in the 90s.
Yeah,
Good time.
That's really cool.
What about you, gentlemen?
Stuffed animals? I didn't have a lot of stuffed animals. I had like Well, I mean, when I was really little, I had like stuffed animals I slept with. I had like this is sentimental, like called him Sleepy BB Bear.
Okay.
So it was like little stuffed. I think I have it in a bin somewhere actually, but
Yeah.
it would like jingle and it just said like sleepy time or something. It was just a little stuffed animal bear. It was like not very big at all. And then I had like a blanket that ended up just being like shreds, of course. And then I later had like a little stuffed dog that was all black.
All right.
I think I called them just.
But for reference, Nick had a Binky or a pacifier until he was 7.
No, that was Ariel. That was my sister Ariel. She
Oh
had a
yeah,
Binky
that's right.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she would just spin it around and be
Revealing
like,
family
like a
secret.
propeller.
What about you, A-Trax?
So I had, and actually I still technically have, a ton of stuffed animals. Like I have maybe 4 totes of stuffed animals in my closet from my childhood. So it's really hard for me to pick one, but if I had to, I would say I had this little stuffed panda, and it was one of those like stuffed animal backpacks. And so I carried that thing everywhere from, I don't know, I probably carried it for 7 or 8 years until I started feeling a little ridiculous with, this tiny little panda bear backpack. And it started not, then I started having other things that I wanted to put in my pockets and in a backpack where it only had like this small little pocket square of space in it. So it didn't really function as a backpack. But his name was Oolong the panda. And
Oolong.
I would definitely say that was if I had to pick one, my favorite.
What are you guys talking about in here?
Find out next episode of
Working Class Nerds.